Hi, this is Myra with Boutique Paint. Today we're going to be making some knobs out of the IOD molds, and either old knobs or new knobs you can use for this project. You can use wooden knobs depending on the size. I did get these off of Amazon and they're just stinking adorable. They're just little small knobs, and they would work for something tiny, like a little chest or something like that. That's a little strawberry. That one I sunk in a little too far. This is what it's supposed to look like. But there's not really enough room to get your fingers behind, but for a small something that would be cute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, these are just old knobs that I had pulled off a piece. They're very dated. If that's what you like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult you. But anything you might have will work for this project. So I am going to clean it with some rubbing alcohol. The wood ones I don't have to do. And then for this, I'm going to start out by going ahead and using some mica powders in these and painting the insides of the molds. So like this is the mica powder. So it's already done. You're finished. You don't have to stop and paint this. If you want to paint it instead, by all means do that. This is another one I did. But we're going to start out by just kind of, that's way too much, putting in a little bit of powder. And if you get too much, you can just remove it by using your paintbrush. And this is a powder, although we're painting it in. Let's see, let's use this pink here. That's pretty. And we're just basically painting it into the mold as if it was paint. Make sure you get up the sides. This is a fun, inexpensive way to change up your knobs. You could make some really fun, whimsical ones. You could use this one. This is IOD's Dewdrop Pond. You could make some frogs. You could make a ladybug. That would be very sweet. All right, that one looks pretty good. I think this one, everything in this is going to be too big for the knobs I currently have. So I think on this one, I'll do some gold in here. And it's okay to blend these with the powders. You can do all kinds of fun effects. This is one that's done. That's this guy here, and I just did a little bit of the kind of gold bronze there, and then the pinks. And you can see there's different colorations in that. And that's what makes it fun and pretty, because it's mimicking nature. I'm going to use a little bit of this gold in the center. And then I think I'm going to put just a smidge of this pink, just kind of mixing it just around the edge here. Because I did the kind of bronze first, it's not going to show up as much. A little bit more variation. So we'll give that one a try. And let's see, let's try this one too, because I've got a few knobs here. Yeah, I'm going to try this one, because see how well that one just lets that knob get in there. That's another thing to consider. This one will fit in a lot of different pieces. So I'll do, just have fun when you're painting in here. Get creative, use the different colors. I am somebody that loves colors, and I have to have one of everything and it's actually a problem if you ask my son. But I'm just gonna use the rest of that and do a light coating. So on this one, I'm gonna use this dark kind of, I call it maroon. It's very pretty. All of these are pretty. All the colors are pretty. So next we're going to mix up some resin. And I like to go ahead and pour part B into the cup, just so I can remember which I poured into this first. And then I'm going to add a little bit of color to this. And I like to do this before I put in part B, because you have more work time. If I pour in B and then start mixing it, it's chilly out here today, so it's taking a little while for these to set up. But if it's a warm day, you don't have as much work time. If this is a 10-minute resin, it dries normally white if you don't put any color into it. And I like it because it's fast. I don't know about you, I'm impatient. The 24-hour resin that a lot of people are using for the IOD products now, which is a lot of fun, like the cloches. Fabulous, but I had to get a warming pad because I don't have the patience to wait for 24 hours for my resin to cure. Just saying. So we do not want to fill this, and actually that's probably too much. I'm just gonna pour in about that much. I know that one could use probably just a smidge more. Oops. There we go. And you want to make sure it's straight up and down. This one is definitely going to be too full. I'm going to take a popsicle stick or craft stick and just pull some of that resin right out of there. And if it pours over the side, you can clean it up when it's done. It's just easier if you try to not make a ton of messes. So this one here is an actual IOD knob. And this one, I'm going to use this knob. I think this one's going to turn out the best. There we go. Okay, I have a little bit left. So I'm going to, I can feel the cup heating up. So I know that when it gets to, you'll learn this, but when it gets to a certain temperature, you know it's going to start hardening on you. There was too much resin in that. So that was a good way to do it. Just lift the knob and scrape it off into the cup. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour this. Never waste. Just go ahead and pour. So we're going to let this cure, which will take approximately 10 minutes. It might take a little bit longer just because it is chilly out here. And then we'll come back and check them. I'm excited to see how they turn out. All right, it looks like they're done. We're going to just check it here. And what you want to do is you just want to kind of bend the mold. And if it pops like that, then you're ready. If it's still moving and like bending with the mold, it's not ready. So don't, just give it a little bit more time. We did have some over pour on this one. So I'm just going to take my fingernail. And you could paint the back side of this. You probably would want to. And you could paint it ahead of time and then just leave the top unpainted. That way it can really grip to it. depending on what kind of paint you use. But that's pretty. And that one's very pretty too. These do have a bit of a lip, as you can see. This one's a little bit less, but I think they would work fine. These ones are going to work out really well. Look how nice that is. There was a smidge of overpour, and if you wait until it's completely set up, you can take a file or a sanding pad and just clean them up. And because we put some colorant in the mold, when you do that, it's not going to look too funky. You can see there's all different colors. But I love the way that one turned out. That turned out just absolutely perfect. That one also, that turned out very nice. So this is a quick way to update any knobs that you might have that, say you have a piece that you're painting and you hate the knobs. This is a good way to make them new again. Now, as far as if you don't want to paint the inside of it like I did with the mica powders, you can pour it in the white and then paint it. Like this one is in the white. You could spray paint these any color, and I think they would turn out really, really pretty. And then let's not forget our little flower, because I can never leave anything alone. This one, I hadn't painted the inside. It's just the mica powder into the mix. But I'm going to go ahead and just paint this. I'm using the new Veranda cottage color, because it occurred to me I wanted to show you how pretty this would look with some dark and decrepit dust on it to highlight the highs and lows. This is dry now, and I'm going to grab a brush for the clear wax. I'm just going to dab some of it on to my brush. Then I'm going to grab my dark brush. I'm just gonna work it in there. Make sure you get your sides. And then you're going to take a paper towel and you're going to wipe it back. Look how absolutely gorgeous that is. So there's so many variations you can use on these, different effects you can use on these. I think those turned out just quite lovely. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. We'll see you next week. Bye.